rankal bismillah na banko la ko programme mi alan ka fa ko kana amin arjuma kabo talang nan la kata fo talang lu la bar be don time do yenda do manen ron alsi hakatu wala bar bi la a politician wala journalist wala mo an aka report jamal di ka bonan code kanana mi yalan ka mi be keden député bonto ndo ñom yalan ka fa ko lamen MC sam nga ka fum fenna ko hosning bi atema megno parce que amin ay sangol soto bar mbed wala sabante frodron la jango sonia ta la fisa bod la dron manan ku kala dron Kexx ngi bismillah programme ni
baraka ba ken contenta pour ko ma be la programme
household name in the Gambia so mamra yo introduction on it but bawo sunolam dron tawda ada kala tan
yeah baraka ba ken to mu kemes sanalti originally amboda nyaminale sa do me ka fa bar alhamdulillah sa embe siring late kunda jaman le funding ke o monde me alan ko mu politician ol de me député ya palaso nyamina west constituency alaman harje palaso nyinna because I'm passionate about dissemination of information amira ko banko ni ka kibaro so rek ma be dulalto banko la kol ka kacha dame to men ka munda ko député bu ngoto lamba wala nakiti bu ngoto lem nata tam faye pour ka ke modum yaran ko zikibaro nyi munda ka janjandi banko kan onatan to fana fintindi amo benna ko deke ko akate fay men kana ko deke mbelo la ko deke nga banko nyine pour ngata sinna mo le député bu ngoto luwal ka dada dame to ne banko la pour sen dabula banko do ko nyint
o kumata baake kumol mi fejande are very important ngamra it's of you fulfilling your social corporate responsibility but ni nata je fanan kibar janyam fana mun kultum yalan ka amang easy I mean media house jamal be janyim banko ngaka kela so star Kexx bo so nata na be den code ke jisol nyina silang jinin karas na ko amen folum Kexx ke joy ka nyin report sol min ke jole bang wala du ka fene so je bang wala comme e ka min so just to inform the masses.
Yeah, wato nga start nung kakele out of passion because of fentenye je mfangole kana paso tam mfangole kana moto mala go to the court or the National Assembly ka kibarol janyande so ntada fo nyato fore anata je ko nkamenke ay nyafale wato telefona la report men kamunda ko Yankuba Jallo adanata muta non commission onata ta do ko la pour être la local government inquiry nyento ay je secretary je so kabate nata sa la ko ni fonko sodo report atije men ngo handicap Nelson Owe Bizirin Birkama den Louis Fana o engage so men kata high court to ma mo soro den nen sam nata sika antande na ko lafta pour because before nka voluntary nka I share my info but it was free then another for nyako we don't want to continue with this now that we want to give you more engagement by their court reporter has we are speaking on social media and other things so I'm just doing it out of passion for dissemination of information there is no people get interested in my contents and I have huge followers on social media because they believe that the information that I
journalist jama buka hanya kadungu fananya because it's a very critical domain. I mean I mean as a reporter me alan kafuko you've been so passionate about reporting from the high court what are some of the experiences I mean bad aspect of it?
Yeah, now start in terms of being a court reporter a personal development or a way of seeing things to an ordinary person when it comes to law. Before I will start the court report, there are certain things I believe that okay, you put the law in your own hands. Saying that mentality is with the people. That or even more attempt is okay. All those things were possible. Develop your personal self in terms of understanding the law. Since of the law, there's no excuse. So even after it that ye kule ke melanko ani luwa manta titano kiti bunya tino ko maluwa le wala nangake luwa ka yanta kalon unfortunately ndata banko ka melanko melnyanta kan karande luwa la wal man karande luwa have. You only hear of them when elections are coming. They make billboards on the street, know your right to vote, to be voted. These are the things that they do.
Definitely, yeah.
Ignorance of the law, there's no excuse. Then you should educate your people first before you punish them for their ignorance. So, but what happen in this country, so, you know, Nikada Koto, it helps you, it develops you personally about that. Also, you know, because court fanana fansung kangola me alonko is different from other languages also. So ni tara kiti bungoto, then you understand maybe different meaning. So ikajela ko kema ko no kalon, what are the terminologies in terms of court. Today, maybe next year I'm going to the university. That's my intention, to go and study law. Before it has never, because I want to be a politician. But now it has given me another dimension. Wow. And like, okay, you need to have a background, be a lawyer or to be a company lawyer or other things. So, but it's good for your personal being, you know, in terms you will be from Malara society because the moment you law if anaka law bunyal and only law bunyal. Negative impact of it is that sometimes, you know, we have this difficulty in terms of access to the charge for contempt of the court. Nina the information or say it is wrong. So if you want to run away, but we have challenges in terms of when documents are filed before the court, you go to the clerks, or judgments are delivered or rulings are delivered. You go to the clerk, you tell them for the judgment, you know, they tell you that you are not a party to the case, and they don't understand government that, you know, contribute towards this thing. And once you are in a court, we are all, you know, we are all what we call staffs to the courts, you know, in time the courts to reach at its logical conclusion. So they are there, they cannot sit and talk to themselves. They need what happens in court, so that they will have an understanding what happens between A and B and what was the decision of the court. And we are the people who will do that. So I think we should have that collaboration among ourselves, that, you know, there are documents that we know that cannot be shared, that we know. But the ones that are already delivered judgments, because when they are delivering judgments, the judge is just reading like a book. You are not a machine to type all those things.
Yeah.
So analyze it and summarize it for the Gambian people to know that this is the verdict of the courts, you know, why they come to this conclusion. Then people will get to understand, okay, minister, or there's a case that is filed against a councillor. I want to know what are the writ of summon, or what are the in terms of the ground. I hear from the school, okay, Kexx is summoned at the court, or against Kexx, and somebody I pick up that information without having. So the courts will near the court, like, it becomes a public document, and this has to be very clear to all judicial officers that the moment a document is filed, Menka Muntako, in terms of writ of summons and other things, so, you know, ruling, you should have an access, because it's not your property. But we even just last week, Yankuba Brikama Area Council, the chairman of Yankuba Dabo, there was a ruling because he filed an agenda with his case, and he filed a case in regards to stay or file an appeal before the Court of Appeal. So there was a decision that was made by the magistrate himself from the case and wait for the Court of Appeal or not. So he had made a decision. So we went to the court of it. You know, we are not parties. We went there on 3 paying our fares. It was a real struggle until we have to go and confront the presiding magistrate. But he's sitting there, nobody knows that there was a decision that has been made. Have you read it in any of the newspapers? No. These are the issues, unless you guys, and he met to understand, and he have to ask those people to provide us a call for them to say. So those are some of the challenges, but we are working with the judicial officers, you know, and most of the time when we have works, we join our hands together, we'll work, you know, promote the image of the judiciary.
That's very nice. Thank you. After all the political parties we have in the country, you prefer DOI over all these about DOI.
Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, this came, it was not just an accident for me. In 2006 from school, you know, when I graduated in 2006, you know, I was in this area. So when I came, you know, I look at the landscape of our country, I was very interested in politics. So I listened forming of NAT, coalition and other things were going. So many activities were going. So I was interested in politics. So I was, part of people that were sharing NAT posters and other things. But by then it was a joint coalition, of different political parties. So after all the NAT elections and parliamentary elections has been done, parties goes back to their bases. I said it is time for me to look at all these political parties. Then I start to listen to them, and I even those who were having documents of documents and other instruments, so that actually I can have an understanding about their political ideology. To do my research, I think I was able to get PPP by then was active. I could not get that of I don't know, this is Ahmad Ba, NRP.
Okay.
Yeah, but these other parties, I get some of their tapes, documents. Then when I go through it, I get interested in terms of PDOIS. They said the way forward for a new Gambia, that was Live Forward. That was the first document that I did, some of the documents. So I start to read. And one day they had a meeting at Serekunda, where you have the Brikama garage.
Okay.
People, and I was like, the way they were talking, anchored with, should be governed in terms of educating the people to know who they are. Once you know yourself, you'll know how to safeguard your country. Obligation on your country, then you become just somebody in the nation that is just going black. Talks about the economic of the country, how they can eradicate the poverty of the country. They talk about agriculture, they talk about sovereign national wealth. How can we protect our natural resources in terms of not just giving license to people just to go and catch our fish and other things. They talk about. So this can become interesting to me. Then I start actually listening carefully until I saying is the one that anchored with what I believe. Then I decided to fully commit myself to People Democratic Organization for Independence and Socialism entire life, and I will never regret it. And I didn't join PDOIS because I believe that they must be in power. That's not what I believe. That they have the principle, they have the parties, and anytime they go into power, they will safeguard this country, no matter how long it takes us. And I believe that when they are on the line, principle that I've seen in DOI, the programs that I've seen in DOI, I maintain that a position I will always be a DOI member. But once that is diverted, I might not be a DOI. And I've seen them in that trajectory since the inception of the party up to today, and this is why I choose DOI.
Okay, good. Now, one may ask, what is your, designation in DOI? What's your role there? Are you, do you occupy certain positions within the party?
Yeah, actually, I was a bona fide member since I joined there until we and Kairaba Beach in Senegambia. One of our, I think, 2016. 2016 or 2021, I could not actually remember. So when we go there, I was actually elected. Then me and one of my guy called at the chorus, normally IEC will be invited and other members will be invited. So they realized that actually some of people who were not delegates, because it's only the delegates that were actually to actually vote in a Congress. So they said delegates. So based on those things, those who were actually then becomes annual. So the party right to us, has somebody who believes in the party and the principle, and we have been preaching. So we should not be found wanting, violating our very constitution. And our constitution is very clear in terms of observing team that there was an error during the election, because I think people were so nervous. But during the election of that position, we have observed that people, and they saw us video footage of people who were not delegates. I said, actually, and I can write, you don't even need to, waste your time. So we told them that this is what happened. So, but since the election has guy in Wolle, to represent us until the next, so that we will see whether we will be interested to vie for that position too. So that was the whole issue. But since that, they will just send us there to go and represent the party in terms of youth discussion, of PDOIS, and I think I have done information of the party and also selling out the image of the party and its programs. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, good. Now, I mean, what role do you think DOI can play in shaping the future of the Gambian people?
Yeah, for far too long, DOI has been very consistent in terms of what they intend for this country and how they can address the needs and the aspiration of this country. And this is very clear to every Gambian, unless if you don't want the system that DOI is preaching, corruption, not or nepotism, people will serve position based an offer to the country, but positions will not be given to people as a political compensation because of you have. But DOI has studied this country because before they even joined the politics, you know, they were working in department, and they have told the entire country to look at how people are suffering in terms of what should be done. And you know, the social where the poorest people of the country will be found. That's where when family abandon you, or you know, people that gave birth unfortunately, and the parents. Places where, you know, you have issues, you feel the real suffering of the people. He was there, he understands the issue. And Sidia was in other departments. Sam has a story whereby poor students that cannot afford their school fees, he was actually paying them, taking them extra classes, those who are adult students, together and teach them so that they will catch up these other people. So they were voluntary.
Yeah.
So they understand directly what are the problems of this country, and they too and understand with a program or manifesto that address all the sectors in terms of agricultural sectors. What does DOI intend to do? They say that we cannot keep on just relying on importation of rice, importation of oil, importation of everything that we need, we import it. We have the vast land here. All what we need is, you know, for government to invest into this sector, and we may have what we call a cooperative fertilizers and the seeds, and they will produce the rice that we need, so that, you know, the money that we are investing in terms of the farmers, so the farmers will become rich people. So everybody will want to venture into the farming sector.
Farmers are
the richest people. Very good. So this is what is happening. You look at the eggs that we could have our local eggs in this. In tons of millions of dollars. So DOI has addressed programs and policies in regards to we are doing our economy, you know, just to rely on foreign aids and all that will not be, unless we this country is blessed with abundant mineral resources, but the management of our resources is the problem that, you know, it's not even reflecting in our national budget. Nobody. They will not tell you how much is mined from Bato, Kunku, Sanyang, Katong, and all these things. And these are the resources of the country. And the law is clear in terms of when you the country, it should go to the consolidated fund of the state, whereby, you know, nobody can touch that money until the approval of the National Assembly. The fishing lancing that you have, how many vessels are in our sea fishing, you know, how much are they, you know, paying in terms of dividends to the government? We don't know. You know, this is Senegambia Bridge. You come here, you give it out. So these are the issues DOI has addressed in terms of youth programs. They tell you how many people are graduating from our school system every 12 years. You know, it's in millions of, it's in thousands of students. What is the program in terms of government? GTTI, people go there, they is government creating them workshops whereby that will consume those people? When government needs furniture in our school system, you don't need to go to China and bring the furniture. Offices need furniture, you don't need to go to China. These carpenters from the GTTI, the welders from the those people, and those people will contribute to the economic development of this country because the money will remain there. They will build houses, they will buy properties. So that's how you develop the country in terms of our economy. So absolutely there is no doubt DOI has a solution for the problems of this country.
Right, I can't agree more. Very right. But I mean, despite all these, I mean, beautiful programs or good programs, yet people are not subscribing to, I mean, DOI or most misconception about DOI among Gambians.
Yeah, for me, actually, I keep on telling people this, and this has ever been an issue that, you know, people are not actually getting the message of DOI. I told them what is more difficult in terms of what DOI is saying, even a young person like with. So for me, absolutely, there is no doubt that the message has reached to the people. Well, we have a problem in this country, and unless we to identify themselves based on a particular group of people, when you are from associated with them, people don't vote in this country since inception of vote based on policies and programs of this country. People vote based on partisan line, people vote based on this tribe lines, people based on sentimental election. Ame will be here for 22 years.
No.
Jawara will not be here for 30 years because 30 years are ruling in this country here, where we cannot even have a university, we cannot even have a national TV in this country. So, you know, it's just that maintaining the offices and the institutions, you know, for 30 years, Jawara left, we came with Jame. For the 22 years, we have seen, you know, how people are suffering, you know, so many things were happening, even though there are some infrastructural development in Jame, but there was no corner, and there was one person, the king, that was sitting on top of everybody. Actually, we never vote based on policies and the program, and until Gambia move away from that type of politics and start voting based on policies and programs, they will always be a victim, because they believe in party of programs and policies, and they are not the party that will go and induce people to vote for them, to give them something so that they in exchange of votes. And this has been happening in this country, and it's a contributing factor.
Excuse me, some people have they don't do because I think
yeah, those are
that's a layman thinking.
Because for me, I want a mate in my house, and the mate come for search of a job in my house, and the mate tell me that, okay, I want to be a maid in your house, but I want to pay you 5,000 before I start. I will start thinking that this maid is looking something in my house rather than just be a maid, because how can you come and a maid in my house, but you offer me 5,000 before I even give you? So this is the mindset that the government people should understand, that these people are there to serve you. So why will somebody who wants to come and serve me will give me something before I will put the person into office? That person has seen something bigger than what is offering you, and once you elect those people into office, they will go and do, or they will go and sit over the resources of the country, and they refuse to do that. We could have done it. We have seen people that are ready to millions of dollars. I was a living witness to somebody that I accompanied to Halifa, and they had a conversation. I don't know what was their conversation because I was not there, but when I was accompanying the person, country that much, so I was the one who was giving him direct back to his hotel, and he was insulting in the car. I said, what wrong? He said, of this country, but I want, when they win the election, I want to be a foreign minister. That's the only position that I want. And your guys were telling me that they support based on somebody will be offered a position. You know, he said, you know, world politics is evolving around this. I support you, you support me, you give me a certain position. So they could have done that if they want only to be in power. We could have done that. And so many of refuse to accept those things. People are ready to pump millions to do it, but they attach with conditions, which other parties are accepting. Okay, give me the millions. When we come, we can give you 2 positions, 3 positions. No, but those people are not ready to serve the country. They are there to serve their pockets. They are there to serve their families and close associates. So this is the difference between DOI and... But from our universities have been politically aware, they understand, and that's the target of DOI. DOI is not just to go to power when the vast majority of the Gambian people are not politically conscious to understand what politics mean. They want, when they are in power, so that the Gambian people will know, politically they will be conscious enough to know their rights, so that they will hold them accountable. So we are not in haste. When it's the right comes from, I know the Gambian people will decide when they understand what's the politics.
That part, I mean, what do you think should be the way forward? I mean, for the masses to be actually, educated about these issues, because these are very, very focused on policies, programs, and ideas, right? But then now, if people or some Gambians have the mindset that, look, if you need something, you must do something. So, you as a politician and somebody who is well experienced in the political arena of this country, issues.
Yeah, you keep on educating the people. Like it happens in my parliamentary election. If somebody he will win. Like I was, even the incumbent who was sitting, who was the National Assembly member, was telling that my only threat was Kexx. You know, I went there with message, and when I talk to the young people, they understand of Nyamina West, what is Constituency Development Fund. They have never even had, because no parliamentarian tell them that you have a Constituency Development Fund that is meant for those people. You know, it's something, and they really understand, even though at the last they came with their bags of rice, $5,000 each household. They went inside, but I understand the poverty in the provinces. I have gone to villages where I do my campaign. I found people that 6 months they have not even, you know, they cannot afford to buy a bag of rice. So if you go there with 5,000 and a bag of rice and give to that person, you know, Kexx just go with his word in that poverty against them, so that they will have their support. So these are the things that are happening in this country. So, you know, it takes time. I think that's why they have, the leadership have gone into academia, where they are writing books. And the last week I was talking to them, they want to interpret local languages for people to understand. And the young people, I understand, vast majority of the young people are supporting DOI. And these are the people who have been doing the same type of politics. It has not reduced our poverty. It has not changed the status of this country. Now that DOI, and that's why our target was the young people. You know, since at the inception, that's why they will go to colleges, they will go to university graduates. I have been supporting DOI. That's why when CA came from their political party, people were telling CA are DOI products. Yeah, because those are the people that we have nurtured. But all of them are back at the party. So that shows you that the young people are the target, and we have getting those people, and those people will be our ambassadors, you know, to promote this country. Okay,
let's wait and see what the future holds for us. I mean, just to remind you, he's our guest here, Kexx Sanneh. I mean, a household name in the country, a reporter, a politician, and whatever you could call him. I mean, reporting, I mean, do you fast, you know. I mean, now, I mean, Kexx, Jamal, right? Ya jako slam von politician or for level mi alan ko Jamal ke mere fon ko a youth soldol ko pour ye dunna politiko ko wala fodum e be bulala wala nyame fon bonni because ni te fon bonni je say ma mesi do hold not account, right? So what would be your message alan ka ko ye fon bonni politiko ko ba den na do ko lam dal yeah
wala nyindere ko ka mulje mela lan ko ka foko ante o data politiko to ka foko ni da manta politiko to ba molle bulala mela lan ko de will take a decision no banko tinyata ita fa be mol ko mela lan ko mo tinyar lalde del be da wala when it comes to the economic politician or like decide what type of economic be sort of leptano, the type of health system we men sort of politician or like decide, because they guide by politics and politician or like so it is seen ye bulo mo de ka fo konte da politiko kono. That's when it was created with Salutal, the idea, you know, he was part of the champion the idea. We all supported the idea because ngajako young people also take over their country because they believe that men ko ka amutale ya hand over mobile. It is something man ko you assume you ikatale ya taka and then konta parental to serve my country, and this is why I take a binga time tell man doyle and people were, but I believe that I have the message and I'm in the election. You could see the numbers, the margins are totally you know, very close to each other schools. Now they are they are called to the bar. Last time I was talking to them, I intended that you people, all of you cannot be a lawyer. We have parliament. These are the places whereby laws are made there. But we have parliamentarians, they don't even know what is the constitution. Even chapter 1 of the constitution, they cannot know it. Look at now today what happens in the National Assembly. The law is very clear. Financial year, the Minister of Finance must table the estimates and the revenues of the state for National Assembly members to debate over it. It's today la kwa nyanda ka kiten itetare yake nyado nyama. But the people they went there, they raised the issue. It doesn't go through the process of the law. Can't understand. This is where I have international agreement will ratify Banko tema in terms of agreements. So you need somebody you have an African parliament, the APC parliament, to go and speak on behalf of the Gambia in the international stage. There are people that should understand how the world is evolving, how the world is working. the parliament, the whole 366 days of the parliament, the president don't speak in parliament. For leaders who let they hand over to them. It will never happen. You must let's all serve and more along with whatever you can contribute to the country is a duty between you and your country. It's either to fulfill the duty or you betray the duty. But all of us has an obligation. Look at the loans that they are taking. The grace period is always, when they take loans, they take grace period is 30 years, 45 years.
Wow.
45 years, they are not here. It's blown $110 billion out their burden now. They are divide almost 44,000 each Gambian is having before $1 billion. So these are the issues. But where is that budget? What those loans will look at? But they are not reflecting on your me and anybody.
It's like, definitely.
So absolutely because here we have direct tax. And in Geoniasa you pay tax directly. They don't support you because the person who bring the water already pay his duties to the custom. The law tell him that if you pay custom, you can.
All I'm doing, they form basic politician. I mean, but if I'm Jamaica still like a dunje because of economy and Kafako be Katina for sending some and for Tabatila Kumulkang. I mean, whatever a reaction to a fan.
No, yellow man more
changes the only constant thing. Right. Be say the music cannot ending sending some. I mean, we are not discrediting that. But then they come in for like consistency.
Because it's very important. Because you might have Murana Teleka.
Okay.
No Sembo Betelable. Teleka Mansa Cindy Telecarbon.
Most definitely.
And Tandila Gongado Menga Sanji Lulu. Ayanyabo Leba, Nayanyabo Yamari Cato Dialaco. Namenyabo, Yafacono, Salanco Manke Modiman, Lana Mole Mad. Because Hadamadum Fence of the Manco Manke, La Count and Ila integrity, Aludan, Ila Kumakang and Ila integrity. Nima integrity, so you are nobody in this country. So Kumaya Bada Pur Hadamadu Alonco, Ila Kumakang is very well thanking Nade Kafutema. For a Sembo detail, for the na Kefendi. It ain't a you'll be jump for long killing just for your. Modo mo kudori we maril fa ibukat yatnol botanam parti do ledo ye parti do ni dol kuyata jele fa ite buka fendi tame kana kato fa rek danko do
exactly. I mean it's high time kana politician ila kuma because most na lo le biya kuma fa mi alanga diarat le because time pour amen nga fota parti mangela buko jiben lafta ka fele matumo wala nan ka fota jangal wala aussi wa blame game morning right? Okay, good. I mean, Ngakata demanding. Bao, you watching commission. What is your relationship with Talib Ahmed Bensouda?
Yeah, actually, Nanaman Doko, but we once sat down because for the March we had a discussion, all cheers towards the Gambia and Benda Filo Rofana and Kachara Jenganyo Fengena, and he's a public officer. Well, I respect him as a public officer, and I will never. So, as a citizen, I has the right to hold him.
Banko as a politician.
Yeah, prior to before, tested that on several occasions, and I have the video footages of that effect. Me alonko audited accounts, their management, financial management reports, their on the auditors' reports and other things, and I've seen some of the activities that were happening in the council KMC. I'm a resident of KMC. I pay tax in KMC. I have given this person for 5 years to come and at least address the signs that give me another 5 years. I will do this and this, but I have not seen those developments. And I look at the auditors. At the Serakunda market, how the monies that were invested in Serakunda for the renovation of the market. But if you look at the market, still now the condition vote you again. That's why you audited every politician every 5 years. It is maybe most people that we are talking doesn't know the realities. And those are the ones that are revealing in the commission. And I have said this, it's under his leadership. When there is success, you give success to Talib. So when there is failure, you have to believe as an independent person, not from a political party. He doesn't have a political ideology. So I cannot give an entire council. Okay, I said, okay, this guy has been a youth representative in the council before. And during his time, there's a track record. So he understands it. To come to the local government, he will understand it because that was one time he served that institution. He could have, let's give him the chance. By 5 years, if he didn't deliver, Bakari and some of their supporters feel otherwise. But, I showed them the reasons why, but they refused to accept. I told them that these are my reasons why I publicly tendered. We have seen all those things here. One single sourcing and all these things have been happening. We see all those things are coming from the commission. And people into office and they fail to deliver and you still electing them to office. Go in for election, then let's have a kinship, let's one party rule the country for entire, but you people accountable, check and balance. So for me, I'm not satisfied with what I've seen in his leadership, and that's my political right to go and support any other person. Maturity in this country, once you are not supporting others people, they feel like, okay, you are an enemy. They said, I have no grudge. When I meet Taliban, I'll greet him properly. When he was a private citizen, I have nothing to do with him. I don't even know him. But once he's a mayor, I will hold him accountable like any other minister or any other. And my records are there. Go to my Facebook. There's no person that I have not criticized in this country. But when you do go to, I also acknowledge it. That's divergent views with whatever political party, you should always wish for them to fail. For me, those are not my thing. When they do good, I applaud them. Or when they do bad, this is the solution.
I mean, good. Now, what is your, perspective on, on the progress that he made in KM?
In terms of creating recreation centers for the young people, because we are so a country that young people are so into sports and other the kind of thing, a library that they intend to do. And like government has failed in terms of creating those venues where young people can go and gather one place and do their studies and other things. We encourage those things. We also see that they have come with a community radio station, the waste management. We have seen it, even though they are not solving the entire KMC and they cannot do it in one go. But they have come with a system whereby they are collecting waste from other people, with a cheap price of $10. Yeah, we applaud them. They tremendously in terms of that, and we upload them, and I have wrote about those things. But see, now they are working on the feeder roads. That is their sole responsibility, and they can, whereby they deal with the feeder roads, construction of feeder road. The last time they even invited me. That's why when people think that I have a problem, given a special invitation to go and grace that occasion, by the council. So I have nothing personal against them, and when I need comments, and Talib has done tremendously, like when you are percentage 30% of what is required of him, he have done it, but we'll tell him that there's more that he needs to do just beyond that, and all these things should be seen by the Gambian people, not just to go and sit on the national TV and say we have this project where we didn't see the project physically, but actually there are certain success that he have done, and we must applaud him for that. But there are failures that he have done, and he must accept the criticism. I'm just trying to criticize him to make him better. Those who are praising him, they are not helping him. Right. Because we, the ones who are criticizing him, are the ones who are making him better person.
Good. That's very important of you. And now, if you've been given, the opportunity, what do you think he actually needs to work on in KMC at this point in time to actually, make it a better KMC for the entire country?
Yeah, he has to address the issue. Look at when there is rain season. Look at the flood that is happening. People don't have access to their compounds. And, the government is the responsibility of the central government in terms of the major roads. But the council is responsible for the minor roads. Those are the feeder roads that we have. So he cannot build every street a road. Yeah. There are key street locations or streets, that are under his department. He should work on those areas, and also, not just to collect waste, but we have to move away from just collecting waste and just dump them in one place. We have to go. West. West is a resources now. It's not just a West. In other parts of the world, like when Khalifa went to Norway and he came back, meeting with how they manage their West, how they turn their West into energy. And we are struggling with in terms of electricity in this country. But in Norway, some of their places, the electricity is supplied by the West that they are collecting. From other places, they generate energy from those things. So he can have those ideas and look at, the dump site, how they can manage the West, turning into another, not just only collecting the West. These are the areas that I will also tell them to look into. That's the youth empowerment projects that are coming through the council. What initiative they can come up, because there are young people that are coming from our school system within the KMC, but at the end of the day, go back to the streets. There are so many youths in the street than young people that are engaged in our society. So how do you get those people out of the street? Because that will also reduce the crime rate. And you are a council, you want a crime-free council. So how do you engage those young people? I will advise him, let them come with more youth initiative programs that will address the needs and the young people, the youth and the aspiration of the young people within the municipality. These are some of them, and also some of the social service. People need to understand it's beyond just only that. Councils need to do social service in terms of even old people that are living in our compounds. Council can do voluntary service. You go to other parts of the world, they check them. People are sick in this country, they don't know their status of health. It's the responsibility of the council. Maybe Gambia is not beyond to that level, but they have to look at how the world is evolving in the advanced council also address those things. You know, look at those conditions. You know, have social services. You know, where we have recreation centers. You know, having sports where people can go there and just have, you know, certain entertainment centers. Like council can have even an entertainment center. Like you look at here, everybody go to Q City. All these artists in the KMC go to Q City. How much do you pay in Q City? You pay almost $100,000 just for the hall. The sound system is another $50,000. So you see artists will launch their album. At the end of the day, they go into debt. I've seen artists after the launching of their album, they were dragged to police station. But if council have what we call entertainment center, where people will go there and pay a huge, small amount of money, rather than paying $100,000 to venues and or other places, they will pay maybe $30,000. They have there. Before 10 years, 20 years, you have recovered your investment. Definitely. So any money that is coming. So they have to look into all those areas because it's part of their social service that they should be rendering. And also the street light in order, because it reduces the crime rate in terms of when places are very clear, then you chase away the thieves and the bad boys in the street because everybody wants a dark place. So how do they go into the community in terms of safety and other things? These are issues that I will advise him to look into those areas.
Those are very, key issues, and I think, it would be very important if you actually put them into consideration. Absolutely. I think it would be even better if the government collaborate with the council. They can actually make great impact in these things you've actually highlighted here. You know, now just let's shift a little bit. We've seen recently a clash in the press and of course with the government and all that. You know, what is your perception about press freedom in this country?
Yeah, it's very important, and I think the president, when he was elected, he was very clear in terms of, because he knew that the media was so suppressed during the Jammeh regime, that there was no freedom of media, and that's the fact. That's why there were so many draconian laws that were passed during the Jammeh's era, you know, to silence the media. And he was very clear that the change in terms of media being dragged to court, media being questioned on so many media like personal have their responsibility that they should do that, you know, and that is guided by their ethics and codes of conduct and professionalism and other things, you know. But also government has a responsibility to protect the media because they are they are the fourth state organs of the government. Once we don't have an independent media, and we will have a problem because these are the people that will hold you accountable, check and balance. Now, journalists have been questioned based on their opinion, or journalists have been questioned based on the stories that they have published, even though when bag it. And, you know, it's very clear in terms of how do you charge somebody for seditious comments and other things. You know, the law is very clear that if they didn't pick the story from somebody, but you know, all the issues that are happening in our courts, you know, that the journalists went beyond only just gathering, like I get a source, like somebody give me an information. He went beyond to engage some of confirm the story that he have in hand. And whatever he gathered there, he add that one with what his source. So for me, those are not issues that should be even dragged to court. Okay, he said it. President can even laugh about it. Okay, me, I will still be the president. You know, you laugh about it and go. There are certain things you don't even have to drag them to court. What does it damage? Who does it damage? What does it damage? Exactly. So these are some of the issues that it doesn't. The court has bring that attention. Look at the international communities, writing to the president, writing to the Ministry of Justice, writing to the human rights institutions. You know, you have put Gambia's name in where, you know, it should not be. So some of the issues, you know, media, you know, we know what our responsibility does in the media because these are the ethics that we learn from our schools, you know, and all the time our editors, sometimes we don't even, we go and pick the stories, but there are editors that go through it. Sometimes they edit your story, you are not happy, but they know why they edit it because they feel like there are certain things that should not come in, you know, because of the editorial policies and other things. So, but the government should understand that media are not enemies, and once they understand that, and they need to stop labeling media houses that, okay, this is an opposition media house. See media house as a media house. Exactly. Once you do that, you will understand. But the moment you have a perspective, you have an perspective about me or somebody, then you will hold whatever I said. You will look at that angle. You are not going to see it in the other way angle. And the government should understand that we are all media professionals and we are guided by the ethics, and we will always do the needful. Sometimes it will not be perfect that the way they want them. Sometimes we will hit them based on the information we gather, but sometimes we praise them. You know, and without the media, you know, they will just be speaking to themselves. We amplify their voices, and that's why all the time.
And in fact, it's through the media that, I mean, we have them today.
Yeah, absolutely.
They play a very crucial role, I mean, during the Denver game and all that. So I think it will be very unfair for the state to actually go against the press.
Absolutely.
Now, we are almost to the tail of the program, but before we go, I mean, you must exhaust this other one. The issue of the stadium, I mean, its renovation and then the delayance. I mean, after several works has been made, I mean, yet CAF could not actually, I mean, approve the stadium, especially the pitch. I mean, what is your thoughts about the entire, I mean, renovation, and then at the end of the day, it wasn't, I mean, approved by CAF, even though so many, I mean, work has been put into that, I mean, stadium just for Gambia to play home, and of course, fans will support their boys. I mean, what is your thought about it? Because it actually arouses a lot of reactions from, I mean, the football fans. And, you know what I'm saying?
It's so unfortunate that, you know, in the first place, we should not be banned. And it seemed to the government, whoever happens to be there, that we sit down, only our one national stadium that we have, we cannot manage it. That tells you the poor management of our country in terms of managing the state, properties of the state. And it shows the failure of the whole government structure in terms of managing the only stadium that we have. If you have 4 or 5, maybe you could say it. But this is the only in the we have. And we have people that are employed to manage the stadium, and they are called been generated because the stadium was more of an revenue generated department before, because where before the artists all they would go there, concert there, social service and other things. So it was bringing revenue in terms of so these revenues were not maintained to actually maintain the stadium, the standard of the stadium. It starts from the Friendship Hotel that is next there, linked to the Independence Stadium. It has all been, so it shows you the poor management. So it went up to an extent that the stadium banned, and when it was banned, before if they will even ban, they have sent us warning and at least upgrade our Independence Stadium. And they went and do some minor jobs and just they lift the band, we play. Countries and say that if you didn't do A and B and C, will ban you for indefinitely until those things are done. And Gambia sat down until this thing happens. When it happens, you know, with the change of the new government, this new government, you know, some were lifted and they were banned, but the last banning, you know, I was in the parliament, you know, most of the people don't understand, but, you know, the intention was the government was to build a new stadium. That was their intention, and the parliamentarians even questioned them and asked them, how much will it cost us to have a new stadium? They tell them 130 million euros. We calculate that that's almost triple of the national budget that we gathered together for a year. We cannot afford that amount of money for now. And they say, what is the other option? The other option is go to public and private partnership, whereby somebody can come and invest, or a private company can come and build the stadium, take over whatever, run the stadium for 10 or 5 years, 20 years, depending on how fast he will recover the revenue that he have invested, and hand over the stadium to the Gambia. So these are also the avenues. So they said, okay, since we cannot do that, let's just look for funds, actually how to renovate the stadium. They went to the parliament. By then the 2022 budget has already been passed. So they said, let's target the 2023 budget. 2023 budget, it was not actually allocated. When the minister put it there, the parliamentarian look at the resources that we could have, it was not part of the budget. So the government went internally to look at how they can generate the resources. So we have what we call the public enterprises in this country. They pay dividend to government. There is a fund that they pay to government called dividend. You know, what the revenue that they collect at the end of the year. So government tax those people to at least bring all their dividends together, so that they will actually make sure that they lifting, because they know how passionate the country is in terms of development of sport and the sport activities. So they raise the fund, but it's not a easy job. The requirement of the CAF were many. That, you know, our defense, the road linking to the Independence Stadium, the commentary area, the press area, the hospital. There must be an emergency hospital where, you know, people will be attended for first aid and other things. And we cannot just sit on a concrete slab. Now each fan will sit on one chair. You know, so all these things were requirements, and they contracted government. Then when they raise the money, they give it to GAMWorks, since it's the government institution that is taxed with the government's construction of stadiums and other things. And they have done on. Yes, the speed, you know, we are all sport fans. We want to play in our grounds.
Definitely.
So the idea is there, but it's not a job that is, and if you do it, how, you know, in a rush manner or in a manner that is not you might mistake, at the end of the day, the investment will be zero. But thank God when CAF came to inspect, they didn't say that all your structure that you have built is bad. They approve everything and they compliment the government. They said the only issue that you have is about the grass, the pitch itself. You know, so we also, when we heard of the issue, you know, for us, you know, in the dissemination of information, we don't just want to just follow the people that are on the social media who doesn't understand issues. We also follow them and just said it bad. So we did our investigation. I went, you know, people done. I went to GFA, I engaged people. I spoke to Lamins Jase. I told them this is the issue. Can you give me an idea about what happens? I spoke to Ministry of Works who were in charge, who are contract. I even Jigos, you know, I talked to them the contract. So when I gather my facts, I understand that, okay, the fault is not actually, government has the intention to actually for us to play. And that's why when they were done, they wrote to CAF. And CAF even approved. They said that the Gambia Cameroon's match will be hosted in the Independence Day. You could see that communication. Yeah, that was it. So CAF has already communicated, seen the pictures, you see that. But when they came, they found some holes inside the stadium. They are caused by fungus. They are these insects that normally goes into the grass. They are very interested in the grass. So you need what? You need a chemical that is not available in this country at the time, you know, to spray so that all those insects will go off, you know, all that. So it's, and that chemical to need a certificate. If you are to export, because it's a very dangerous chemical. So if you are to take it from Turkey, a government must write a certificate, because criminals take it. That's where they make this black monies, you know, they will use those things and make monies, false monies, and all. The chemical is so powerful. So you need a certificate so that it will be under a custody. So if somebody is found having those things, they will know where it's emerged from. So they need that, and Rosely, they could not do that, and even they do that, they said it will take them 1 month for that container to reach to the Gambia here, and we wanted to play the Cameroon match. So they then option was Senegal. They went to Senegal because they have a stadium that they are using. But they tell them that the one we have, we cannot give you the amount that you require, but we can give you this certain amount. But you need the same process. You need to certify it. Everything has to come, and it will also take us 1 week for it to deliver here. So CAF said we cannot take your words at this material time because we came here, and we cannot sit until the last minute and we inform the other country that you are playing in the Gambia. They didn't prepare for it. So since it is late, we are skipping this match, and we will bring our part to help you people to make sure that your grass is perfect now. So, but they are satisfied with whatever is done. So if I see people saying that, some said 400 million, some are saying it's $200 million. Yeah, you know, they went and said so many things has been wasted. CAF didn't say that broke all the fences that you have been. No. They said that everything is perfect. We only have a problem with the grass, and we are ready to help you people to make sure that you have a. So I don't think that is another, but it's so unfortunate. It should not have happened in the first place. Exactly. And we should criticize any border person who is there. But now when efforts are happening, we should applaud the government for at least taking $280 million to make sure that we play in our home ground. And hopefully, after today's match, the next match that we are playing, hopefully we'll play on our home ground. And the same people will come and clap, and we are all happy that we have a stadium that is fit for its purpose until we will be afford to have another new stadium.
Good. When that thing actually happened, when CAF really said our pitch is totally bad, it's not fit for purpose, it's not qualified to host international games. Blame games were going on. Some blame the Minister of Youth and Sports. I just want to ask you if you could actually, clarify how, has this, do they procure these funds to actually, put into the renovation of the stadium, or is it coming directly from the Ministry of Youth and Sports, or is the state that actually sponsor the stadium renovation? Can you clarify that part? Because Baghdad has been last out throughout, that moment, you know. And I've seen, we've also been attacked as a result of, stating your story or whatever, you know. So you can also shed some light on that.
Yeah, but
thing.
You know, it's their right. Like, first of all, I will be whoever blame the minister or whoever, they are the custodians of the sport in this country.
Most definitely.
And they must be held accountable if their departments actually fail. And nobody said that they should not be criticized. That, you know, because under your ministry, so even though you have been doing efforts, people don't understand. Maybe they are not seeing those efforts, you know. But when they criticize, you accept it that you were the minister at the time, and it's under your ministry, and people will actually go. But actually, it's the Ministry of Youth who championed this whole issue. They went with a cabinet paper to cabinet, because every Wednesday or Thursday they have a cabinet meeting, and every ministry will actually bring your issues that you think is a pressing issue before the cabinet for discussion. And Bakar bring this on several meetings there. We need a stadium. We cannot afford to be playing outside because it's more expensive to play outside than because if it's a Gambian match, it should be playing in Gambia and we are playing outside, it looks like we are the host nation. Even though we are in Morocco or in anywhere, but we are the host. We provide the visiting team with their buses. We provide them where they will be staying, the hotels, you know, the bus that will take them to the training ground and bring them back to their place. So we act like a host. So it's too expensive, and the delegates that are moving from this country, you pay them, you know, for them to go, the flight tickets that are going, players that are going. But maybe in the Gambia here, when they are playing here, one hotel can say, okay, as my contribution, they can come and lodge in my hotel for free. You know, you can have that for free. GPTC can give you, the Gambia can give you a bus for free. So you will not have all those expenditure. He said it is too expensive for us to continue playing outside. So I don't know, we went to the parliament, there is no solution. I want us to have a solution. So that was the time the cabinet sit down and said, Minister of Finance, go and look funds, how much you can. So they think over it, and they said that, okay, we have the public enterprises here, and we can, what can we do? So they sit down and they know that there's a dividend that is paid by public enterprises in terms of government. They said, okay, this is a state issue, let's raise the fund. So when they raise the fund, the money remains with the account, the Minister of Finance. It doesn't go to the hands of the Minister of Youth and Sport, even though I'm seeing so many people, they have eaten the money. The Minister of Youth doesn't have any money there because the ministers don't control budget. Every budget that is approved is in the Minister of Finance. When you need them, you write to an application and it goes through a process for you to have that access to that money. That's how it is given. So it's not that there's a money there. Even what is approved in Parliament, that's the target of the government. That's why it's called a segment. But that doesn't mean that $25 billion is already in the bank lying down there, you go and pick. No, that's how we are going. GRA is collecting revenues. That's how they will say that, okay, before 2020, we will collect this revenue. As they are collecting, they are distributed among the ministry. So this is what happens. So when it happens, they have a department that deals with government projects. They call Ministry of Works and they tell them, okay, we have the funds now. Go and look at the contractors who will do this. So biddings, tenderings where happens, Gigos Construction and other people were given the contract to construct. So they have an agreement. You do 10%, you finish that, we come and examine. So it's not that they even give you money, you will do it, you finish, it's going to be prefined. When you finish the 10%, we know that, okay, you have built the fences, it's complete, the supervisors will come, experts will come and expert and certify it, and that certification will be sent to the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Youth and Sports now will send it to Ministry of Finance, so say that, okay, this work has been done, certified by the experts, and A and B, and this is the money, now you can pay them. So they will also invoice and write and pay to these people. So that's why the project was also, it's only so far, 80% of the fund has been used so far. And after the project, there is a guarantee of at least 30% that will be kept by the government in case there are certain damages that happens. These people will come and do it without paying. So that will be removed from there, that 30%, so that they will have a perfect place. So this is how it was done. So there was no money that will say that was not going there. Everything was gone, that was budgeted 280. Every single budget was meant for the stadium, and it goes to the stadium. So, you know, what happens outside, you know, it's speculation. I can only rely on facts that I have seen. So if people say that, oh, people are giving kickbacks and other things, no, nobody can show you a single document to back those things. So we cannot live in a nation where speculations will be turned into facts. People have to deal with concrete facts. So this way, this is agreement that I have with some of the people, you know, that the amount that you've quoted is a wrong amount. You know, the things that you are saying in terms of kickbacks, we have not seen it. These are contractors, and no contractor will be allowed your money to be subtracted. So I don't understand where are you. If you have evidence, bring it to me, and I will publish. I will happily be ready to publish those things, because we are holding people accountable. Why not Bakari or any other person? But we cannot also just sit down. When CAF, an international organization, applauded the government of the Gambia, said that you have done tremendously, and we have seen the development that how you transform your independent stadium, and we are satisfied with the work done so far. We are only not satisfied with your grass. That's an accommodation out of 10.
Sort of.
You said everything is 9 is perfect, only 1. So we need to applaud them. People say we cannot. You know, because we are not playing there. But there are efforts.
Yeah, but even though, but I think, in fact, this stadium issue is long overdue.
Absolutely.
Gambia as a country is actually playing in their own country.
Absolutely.
And now my final last question will be, Bakari, as the Minister of Youth and Sports, what do you think, needs to be actually, improve in, under his ministry as the Minister of Youth and Sports?
Yeah, he needs to do more youth engagement. Even though he's doing it, we have seen the transformation of the NYSS. Now, every 3 months, 6 month you have seen young people that are graduated in skills. They park them there, they train them there. They are picking young people from the street, taking them, giving them skills. You know, I've attended almost 2 of 3 graduations there. One of my friends passed through those things, and now they are responsible people in the society. But more need to be done because there are more young people in the street that are unemployed, and some even graduated with the skills. Since it falls under his ministry, let him have more engagement with youths, work with some of these entrepreneurs where they will actually empower these young people. And also they must come with a policy in terms of addressing some of the needs, because you look at the backway syndrome that is happening. So many, we are losing the cream of our society. All of them are going through the backway. What is the post factor? The minister has to sit down with all these relevant sectors to look at what is the post factor, so that they will be able to come with the policies and the program to address that post factor that is pushing our young people to go and sacrifice themselves in the sea in the name of looking for a greener pasture. So these are some of the issues that the ministry actually need to adjust, but also they have been doing so much in terms of projects that they are actually initiating in terms of building even community stadiums. You go to Farafenya now, there is a standard stadium there. You go to Basse, there is a standard stadium there. So, and we know this country is a footballing country. Young people in the evening, you see people are busy in the parks. Everybody is playing stop activities. We have seen the ministry. You go to the Mboyo field, it's transformed. It's going to be another parks, you know. In the, so we have seen more development, but there's more to it that we can do. So we'll encourage him to continue, and more youth engagement. Let him engage with the young people to know what is their problem. Sometimes you even leave your comfort zone. Go and sit down with the young people. You know, last time I was at the beach, I see these young people that are sitting in the book. They call them bumsters. Who engage them? Which politicians engage them? Nobody talks to them. They are just in the beach. Engage them. Know what is their skills. What do they want? How can you, transform the whole industry, the tourist industry? That's young people. They have been there 10 years, 20 years. You are in the book looking for a log so that you will have a white lady. There are more to it. You can even create, shops for them there so that, they will be having more engagement with these tourists that are coming. Make our tourist industry more attractive. Some of them are skills. You go to those now, the entertainers are either Malians or these other nationals that come with drums at the beach and entertain the people. Whereas the Gambians? There are thousands of Gambians that can entertain our tourism.
Exactly.
How do you engage those people?
Exactly.
So
you've touched a part that actually I have to bring in. I said last, but then excuse me. Recently, we've seen, the government of Spain and the Gambia has signed a contract whereby there are youths from the Gambia who actually go there and then work for a certain number of years and then come back and actually, rebuild their life. What is your, overall view of the whole thing? Even though it has some positive impacts, but don't you think also it sends the message that the government can actually cater for their use? What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's sent a signal, but it's also something positive. And exchange of labor is happening everywhere in the world. People do that. Worlds are development. People like other countries, they have all the abundant mineral resources, so their citizens are not working. You go to now Dubai, another part of the world, you will see so many foreign nationals there because maybe they have all the resources, and most of them are not working, so they will even prefer to have mates that will do their domestic work for them. So exchange of labor is everywhere, and it's contributing to also the unemployment rate in this country. We see the statistics in terms of how many young people are sitting down that are not being employed. So government going into this agreement will reduce the unemployment rate and the dependency on young people, because I've seen people that have gone to school, they graduated, they are still depending on their families to provide their needs. I see one of my mates that will wake up in the morning, knock his father's door and tell him I need Ndeo and other things, and that's not his wish, but that's the only option he have, because he cannot. The government that should create the employment doesn't create the employment for him. These are issues that we need to address. So, but the whole agreement is something positive, and hopefully we will have more of this. But it's also exposed that the government actually, there is more need in terms of internally, domestically, for us to create the employment. That's why they said every year the government should know how many young people are seeking for job and how much skills do they have, so that when you do that, when you are making policies, programs, you will address those things. You know that, okay, how many people are skills in carpentry, how many people are skills in, so you need to have a data, and the data keeping in our country is an issue. That's why it will be very difficult to address, because you must have those data so that you will design the policies and the program that will address the needs and the aspirations. But I'm encouraging the government going into those type of agreement, but also I'm reminding them that they have a responsibility to promote the general welfare of their citizens, and you cannot promote the gender without creating the employment, the source of survival for your citizens. So it has exposed that there is much to be done in terms of creating employment of the for the citizens of this country.
That's very right, and that's bringing us to the end of this program. But then I've been beating on myself here. I don't know. I mean, inspirations are just coming in. I mean, until 1 year, 2 months, we'll be heading back to the polls, right? Yeah. How do you see, I mean, how could you describe the Gambia, our political landscape, and do you think, 2026 will be, a moment of change for the Gambian people if we don't, if the political parties don't form coalitions, or if every political party remain as it is? Do you think there will be any changes that all politicians are actually yearning for come 2026?
Yeah, I always keep on telling people that, politics is not a child play. It determines our life. And people should understand that, 5 years we have voted for Adama Barrow. Good or bad is us, all of us, made Adama Barrow himself cannot make himself a president. Right. It's we the citizens who choose Adama Barrow to be the president. And we have been here for 5 years. He's coming back to us for us to audit him. Whether what we have voted for him, he have delivered that service. It's a contract. He's a servant. He's not a president or a king. He's a servant who is elected to serve our interests. So each Gambian, before you go to the poll, you sit down and reflect whether what I have voted this guy 5 years back has served my interests. And if he didn't do that, you have the right to remove that person and put the right person there. And once Gambians see politics like that, we will always put the right people into office. And once we put the right people into the office, this sufferance will go. Because the person will know that once I didn't deliver, I will be kicked off there. But if you're allowed to be having Benakin politics in this country, Sabari politics in this country, patronage, every day your hands will be toy for only 1 month. At the 4 years or 4 years, 10 months, you will suffer. And this is what is happening. They will give you for 2 months survival. You continue to suffer for the 4 years, 5 years to come. And this is not why people are voted. This is not why we fought for independence. If that was the case, we would be in the colony of the British, where we'll be slaves and subjects. But we decided to be independent, to own ourselves, to determine on ourselves. So unless we understand what is politics, we will continue to do that. And it's very easy for us to have the Gambia that we all want, but the decision is left to us, whether we will do the right thing. Once we do the right thing, everything will be okay. Leaders will not even play with us.
But do you think, I mean, any single political party can actually, defeat President Adama Barrow come 2026, considering the statistics way back in 2021?
Yeah, actually, for me, like the same thing that I said, if people sit down and look at all the political parties who are going, and we should not just vote mate vote. Lol mo hew si deka bifi, sani mate mo hew si lol mo ta dende am guri mate, and we'll keep on having guru mate unless we change the way we vote in this country. People should understand. For me, I don't believe any political party has a monopoly, but Gambia is like, that's our politics. We don't vote against incumbent. That's the history of this country. Jawara has never been defeated by a vote. Gambia has not even ever changed through a ballot box until 2026, since independence. Wow. Musunyo gene ngur sikar. Jawara was coup d'etat, Jammeh was here 22 years, Karte Musuko Dana, until we all come together as a coalition to remove him. But he had been contesting on several elections. And Jammeh was not delivering, according to majority of the Gambian people. But why he was not voted in out? Because of the guri then they sani carte rek akimom suma mbokala rek niti de wane ndabuka carte of mansa agents mansa muka mansa so ndabuka mansa so this are the mindset that but mansa be sire ko kan be tinyaro la every day you are suffering you are struggling to buy even a bag of rice ka fa ko mbuko mansa so but o mansa nyin ite ka diate la ka do ma ke la casino. So these are the issues that we have, but once we don't even need a coalition. I tell people ka fa ko party kilinte Barrow bondela jam party kilinte Barrow bondela jam. If we feel that Barrow na carte of he's not delivering that, Gambian people choose any political party among the rest. Contester. You believe in that? A single majority in this country. We don't have 51 plus it here. So merely 52% the Barrow. If they feel that Barrow still serve their interest, let them give him the same 52%. He continues. If he thinks that Barrow now 52%, let them go. Yadi mela 42%, 41%. Let them add that percentage there. That person will be the president. So once we do that, we understand you are there for a purpose. Ni ma deliver mbe bondi la jele. Ni police no tada for your lorek mota tuluna la jam because ibajala ko mol. They are conscious. Go to Senegal, our neighboring country. Yeah. I see people there praising Sonkos and the Jamai. We have the Sonkos and the Jamais in this country. We refuse to vote them. Yeah. What Jamai was saying in Senegal and what Usman Sonko Khalifa has said it here, Sidi Jata has said it here. Gambians refuse to vote for them. They are the same people, even more progressive ideas than Jomai and Usman Sonko, what Halifa and Sidia has.
But yet Gambia don't.
But Gambia refused to do it. But today they are telling us Jomai and Sonko. I see people even naming their political party. I see a group of people that is coming. You know, one Faste Gambia. You keep on copying. You don't want to be imitated. You don't want to create. We keep on copying people. When we have people who can have delivered those things for us, we could have done that before. Senegal could have learned from us. But we refuse to vote based on programs, and until we move away from that, we'll always be a complainer in our own country, we'll be a beggar in our own country, because we refuse to do the right thing.
Thank you so much, Kexx, for coming and of course honoring this great interview. Even though you called moment jump about you actually yela wato be bula je kanana kamabi banko la ko programme ñu tammi yalla ka fa ko argument la kanana kabotala nani kata fatala lu bari be donc time yen sabanne avec do data talan lu lek tata fatala woro nek minute dantan namanang salo kala dron ngi bula yela final remarks sul fa jibera le miliana ka fa ko be jibe kan be mu nek la kuma kalima be fa la gambenul kan carte fa la ni yut sul be dawla ni dunia kono itamurita
apara ba ko kontanta ba ke kana platform to Gambia mo beletade nim pareta pour ka ngura banko e ka do ko ke kalonko ngadingol le soto don tele Gambia men inherit manya ka so Gambia sifa ndingol yo inherit ka munda wonta labalu man nafa soto because ka balu ke pour dingol kairo soto bar Gambia men kono tanding ntel bela do ko wala pour ka bondi bulula ka bondi silala fana kana na banko la melan ko besin siso ko nga fo ko me proud Gambia ba say dol fan ni la banko to fe ke ma bo minekata maral nya anen kata nya me wala problem mode ba nembe kafuta ka ndande ko banko dingo imo bulo kolti ni nata banko la karola do nem bulo kilimbo da banko kono rek banko be bungo be boyla so do nendel be kafuta nyoma collectively we can build a Gambia me ko all of us can be proud of. Yes, we must have our different private lives in terms of our religion, in terms of our tribe, in terms of our ideology, but let's have an interest. And the interest is the nation. And once we have that, Nyindol Bebekala secondary issue. My tribe is a secondary issue. I will not bring it when it comes to the discussion of this politics in this country. My religion is a private matter. I choose to be a Muslim. I choose to be a Christian. I choose to be a Rastafari, a Muhammadiyah, Tijan. It's a private matter. But when it comes to the state, I see you as a Gambian, a citizen of this country. That continue to move we can do anything. And once we see that we will build a Gambia that all of us can proud of, and Gambia no be encourage la wala. Let's do that. Gambia has suffered for 50-something years now since independence, 1965. You still not start even walking. We are crawling. As a nation that is independent, everything that we need, we must export it. Even our revenue. We must rely on budget support, budget supports and loans and grants to provide the service and the needs of our country. So we have a problem, and unless we look inward and take care of fountain, do nimangem fountain moment ka dilarek o marile be control la be dictate la. The water sita purunga Gambia wulen.
Baraka bake wato sita purunga Gambia wulendi olam tonyati mbadi ngo kom nga fala nyamel don kal fanan tento kal jay fala alka patient minta kanyim programme njomi yalan ka ko banko la kodi bi na ko host kom nga fano nyambere nga da don lamin MCC ate man ka fano wona because of ay sangol so na bari muso le banta bari be wala don ala saso arjana na tabla fesi abula ni sabante floto malbe until we come your way next week Friday inshallah ning guest do fana mi dal nanjen ala baraka bake. Okay. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Adam. Son kaya gene sa micro yi mana ko mera yu français yi.